Hello everyone. Hi there from Joanna Pilatowicz for you. And today I will tell you a little bit about the topic. I heard a few questions about where to go, where not to go after the death, after dying. Who knows? Who really knows? Actually, considering amount of masters, the true masters on earth, I don't know if someone really knows. Maybe there are a few people in the world that knows where to go and where not to know. If you are there and listening to this, share with us. I will state this question from another perspective because I think it does not really matter if you should go to the light or not to go to the light, but if you have a free will to go anywhere, if you are conscious to make a decision. What's happening in the moment of death, and a lot of people who went through clinical death report that already, is the moment that they are pulled into the light and they do not really have a choice to go there. They have to have a thought first in order to say, no, I'm not going there. So the matter of consciousness may count more than a question to go to light or not to go to light. So I personally studied, it took me around 3 weeks just to read and take notes from Tibetan Book of Dying, Mr. Rinpoche. And here in my notes, and I do not think that you really want to know all of that, but just to tell you a little bit how I approach that subject, and I hope this will be inspiring. And of course, please take my words only as an inspiration and verify everything I say. This book, Tibetan Book of Dying, just as any other book in a history, it's a puzzle for our consciousness and our learning process, and there is a lot of misinterpretation there, so be careful with that and please use your common sense. I will give you a few interesting points from the book. I studied also Bhagavad Gita, a little bit interpretation of the master in the lineage of Babaji, Sri Yukteswar, and Yogananda, in Lahiri Mahashaya, if I pronounce that right. And I admit it was really illuminating. It taught me a lot. I didn't finish yet. So there's a lot to say on that, and I think the best is to refer you directly to Bhagavad Gita. I am not a specialist in these matters. I just will tell you the absolute basics, what to pay attention to, and how I'm viewing the subject. Another one is Egyptian Book of the Dead. And this one, ironically, as much as I'm big on Egypt and I write all this oracle series about Egypt, I didn't study that one yet. So, if we want to die in peace, we must live well. We won't die peacefully if our lives have been full of violence, anger, attachment, and fear. So, reading that, you have already a tip, and the questions you can ask yourself, and we all, to what am I attached to? At whom am I angry? At what am I angry in my life? What I'm scared of? And none of us is truly free from that. So we are here probably to work on those things as much as we can, because the more we work on it, the better choice and freedom we will get afterwards. And the next interesting one is from Marcus Aurelius. To practice death is to practice freedom. A man who has learned how to die has unlearned how to be a slave. There is something in it. Some people tell that there is this theory and concept that we are manipulated by some sort of beings out there, and we are forced into reincarnating and feeding them, sort of a matrix thing, feeding them of our energy, and we are forced right back into it. So if that concept is true, then by raising our consciousness, we are less and less becoming slaves. It makes sense. There are, of course, 4 realities of bardos: life, dying, and the death, time after the death, so where you are, in what astral plane or dimension, and whoever believes in what, and the time of rebirth. And one more interesting one, just to give you some, the nicest one from the book. If everything dies and changes, what is really truth? Unending nature of mind. That means the most important is our essence. And I will save you all these notes here, and I will get back to the most important part. What they are talking about is raising awareness, raising vibration. I think it's in the terms of raising our spiritual energy, our means, spiritual means that make us free in the end, and we can decide, or we have a chance to make a better decision if we are conscious. And the most important is to practice that awareness. The Buddhism, yoga, there are a lot of methods, cultures that are teaching us how to raise that awareness. And this awareness, that's a point number 1, has to be maintained on 3 levels. That is physical, mental, and emotional. So just to sit in a meditation, which is, by the way, also misled in understanding, because it is definitely not about sitting still and just sitting still and think about whatever, or try not to think, although that is one of the methods. But it's really a mental effort and bringing yourself in a desired state of mind that you can maintain for a longer period of time. The longer you maintain that, the better results you will have. And many schools already said about the importance of your breath, because the breath is your elevator, your time machine, your tool, main tool, that also helps you to maintain the feeling and point of focus when your image in your mind. And it's sure a lot of schools in the specific methods will ask you to sign that you won't share some of the teachings with other people, but a lot of that you can find already in internet. So what I'm telling is not a mystery to anyone. The point, the briefing from the bottom of your spine, just as is so greatly presented in meditation of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love that one. I really recommend that one. Breathing from the bottom of your spine, so you gradually feeling the breath rising until top of your head, and also activating pineal gland. That's what's happening as a side effect, and focusing on your forehead. So in yoga schools, a lot of people are telling you to focus on the forehead and raise your eyes a little bit upward without tensing. So if you do that and tense and raising like too high, you probably and open your eyes a little bit, then some people will see the white eyes, so it looks a little bit freaky. But the point is to not tense your eyes, just relax them and focus for the better concentration of the vision you would like to hold. And this practice takes time, so it is not something you can achieve very quickly, but with every amount of minutes you put into it, it's like you put a certain energy into your cup of consciousness, however you want to call that. And we know that even Solomon won't pour you anything from empty vessel. So we have to maintain with an effort to raise this energy in order to be able to use it for our benefit. So that is this consciousness, raising this consciousness probably means that what some people were telling and warning about not going to light after the death. There are different types of light, and I described I think I know what they meant in the first book of the Oracle, my series. I described the character going toward the light after being killed. That's at the very beginning of the book. And this sort of light, how I envisioned it, and for author, it's really easy to imagine things, but I saw that light as a very tempting and making you sort of lazy, indifferent to what's going to happen to you. You just floating out there, and you're also less and less conscious of what's happening to you. So that is probably what these people are talking about, this sort of light. In my story, I located that light on the moon. It's interesting because some of the theories say that there is the machine catching souls on the moon. That's pretty interesting concept. It fits my story about Egypt. So if you like to know more, I of course invite you to my book. It's on Amazon still. And for those who are reading or are Polish and gravitate by some sort of accident to the video in English language, there will be eventually a Polish version of that book. And so that sort of light is not recommended to go to. That's what I'm understanding. Another type of light is after dying is the one that people are claiming, especially who experience the clinical death. They are pulled in the tunnel of light. It's sort of a whirl. Am I saying that right? I hope. So they pulled in that tunnel, and they not even managed to get a glimpse of consciousness, but they are finding themselves raised above the body. And some people say it happens before the tunnel. So first the tunnel, then they see themselves dying somewhere, or then they are pulled after seeing themselves, they are pulled in the tunnel, and they still have some sort of a part that they can still make a decision of going back. They talk with someone, they meet spiritual master or angel or whoever they believed in, and this, I think also some of the people didn't recommend that light, but you have to be conscious in order to make another decision. Some people saying about different sort of a light. It's a warm light of so feels like illumination. The clarity, you have a clarity, your mind is sharp in this vision, and they would never say that don't go to that light. They are feeling an absolute love. I have no idea, so please verify every information. If you do have this information, please let me know about it. The subject is really wide, and I think it's worth exploring, right? So please share with me, and I think together we can put puzzle to puzzle and have a better perspective on this matter. But this light they are talking about is you feel enormous clarity, almost like you are in a blissful state of mind. You are feeling like you are enlightened. The light is sort of warm. You feel absolutely secure. There is nothing that worries you. You are not lazy. You are not indifferent. You are on the other side, and the quality of the conversation with the one you meet on the other side is great. So yeah, so this is the type of the light. Another one about the raising consciousness. The first one, remember, was raising consciousness of body, mind, and emotions. The second one is very psychological one, and also the Tibetan Book of Dying talked about those negative emotions. So if we are here and we deal with all those negative emotions, anger, pride, well, pride feels good actually, right? Competition, some people say they cannot live without it. Jealousy, sort of worse, greed, all these things that the Tibetan Book of Dying, I think, they portrayed as 6 levels, and they are gods, semi-gods, animals, humans, sort of desire, and all these things. You will find everything there, and I always recommend to study the literature so you can pick those most interesting puzzles that resonate with you. So those emotions, it's about transforming these emotions when we are alive, because the quality of our life now, it determines the quality of our dying, therefore what's happening afterwards. And here again, people who died instantly in a crash, in an incident like that, they lose this consciousness, and their journey afterwards it's a little bit harder. And I had this sort of experience in my past with my cousin, and he died of the sudden crash car accident, and I actually described that story in the Oracle too. But the thing is that in the states, when you're going through these states of mind as a soul, it's a little bit harder for you to navigate in those realms you have no idea about. And especially in the West societies, maybe now there is this boom for spiritual growth, new age, esoteric, but everything is still sort of too far away from science sometimes, and it's coming right these days now more and more. But and on the East, it's something natural, it's a part of life, the life and death. Death is not a taboo. So these people are from the childhood prepared, and the death is something they talked about as a normal thing. In the West, people don't talk about it still, so maybe so in a so relaxed manner, or discuss it maybe not in an every environment. Well, probably for some people, whatever I'm saying right now, it's a little bit off, so so forgive me for that. But some of you will know what I'm talking about, some of you will resonate, and some of you you are welcome to question me and to verify everything, and do not believe me, because we are operating on emotions, on intuition, on visualization, and also on perception, dreaming state, lucid dreaming, and there are not enough scientific tools quite yet to make a vivid results, although we have quite a lot. We have already a lot of research, and Dr. Joe Dispenza did a lot of research on the Buddhist monk, and there is a Greg Braden talking for years about science, and Bruce Lipton, so and many others I don't mention now, but they did enormous great work already, so maybe it's not that far away off for more people than I think. Actually, you let me know. I'm looking forward to hear that. So these emotions are very important to acknowledge within ourselves, even if we want to ignore it. So if I feel jealous or nervous, it's even better to say, hey, I am, like admitting it to myself, or saying even that I don't want to admit that even to myself, that I'm feeling that anger at someone, or I am so nasty today, I am like this today, so I don't want to admit it, I don't want to deal with that. But at least I know that this is within me, and I don't want to deal with that, so I'm making one step forward to actually dealing with that in some sort of a way. Another way how to start dealing with those emotions, if they are so important for the matter of dying. Our emotions are actually a matter of living and dying at the same time. Is not only acknowledgement, but the way of transforming it slowly by not pushing too much. So you may find yourself on the edge. That term is taken from process-oriented psychology, and if you don't feel like you want to deal with something, but it's hard for you to go on with a certain amount of emotion, and you feel you like on the edge, it's important also not to push yourself and not to follow those opinions of other people. You must do it now, you must grow, it's good for you, do it. Because there is a chance that our subconscious mind is trying to protect us. You know, the Freud's protective mechanism are there for some reason, and they are actually protecting us from so many unwanted or things that could make us dysfunctional in life. And as long as we use this protective mechanism for a while, we can function. It's important for us to be sane and to think and to stabilize ourselves until we are able to go on. And only then, step by step, we can try to approach the matter slightly. Maybe get a therapist, maybe, every technique. I find a value with every technique. Some people say now that affirmation, it's so mundane, takes so much time, it doesn't work. We have this psychobiology now, and things can get faster and different. There is a value in every technique if it applies to you, if it resonates with you. And even the affirmation, even if I say like, okay, I'm nervous, if I say, okay, I'm nervous and I can change, but maybe I am excited about something, because you find the quality that stands behind that negative emotion. Like, I'm jealous about something, and you find a quality that stands behind the jealousy. I maybe care, or I want to care, or I'm not making maybe the better attempt, and maybe I want to possess that person, maybe I'm jealous, but there is something I feel for that person, so maybe there is something good in it. And you slightly, maybe slowly, gravitate toward a better quality that stood previously behind that negative emotion. There is also an anger, rebellion, and you cannot stand something, or someone is harming you, you are hurt. So there is every negative emotion holds already the positive one within self. I hope I say that right. So that's the number 2. First, awareness, raising awareness for body, mind, and emotions. And second one, exactly how to transform those emotions step by step. And I'm only saying just the basics about it, about this subject, about dying, how to help us die well. And I really look forward for your ideas to it, because we grow always together. We are always growing in relationship to someone else. So if someone asks me this question, how to raise our vibration, just by your question, you are raising my vibration, and I'm raising, hopefully, yours, by giving you some sort of positive, inspiring tips or tools or something I learned, and then you respond back to me, hey, but I learned this, and then we can learn together. And I so much appreciate that. And the third thing, sorry for those digressions, the third one is lucid dreaming, conscious dreaming. There is a dreaming when you are asleep, there is a dreaming when you are awake, and I said more about that in my other video, lucid dreaming, how to dream consciously. So please go back to that one if you would like to find out more. But just to mention that when we are dying, or we are switching, making this journey, there is a feeling, and many say, who are in this clinical, that we are losing our consciousness. And the practice of yogi and Buddhist monk is to not lose that consciousness. So the more you are focusing upward, using the breath and consciousness and the right frame of mind and the peace within your heart, the more you can stay aware by going through those states. If you are aware of them, your process will be easier. And this is enormous practice that takes probably years. I am not practicing conscious lucid dreaming, so these things are happening to me naturally, not always. I am working a lot, so but I was taking a few months before out of curiosity, because things were happening to me. I sort of wanted to find out, so I took a few interesting sort of, I wouldn't say classes, but teachings from Carlos Castaneda and other teachers about paying attention, trying to wake up in your dream and looking at your hands and those sort of things, because these are helping you to wake up in your dream, in your mind. Your body sleeps, but you wake up in your awareness when you sleep, and then you can not necessarily even astral travel. I find the astral traveling fascinating, but as a side effect on your, it's not a goal really, but it's a side effect. It's just a tool if you want to explore something. So practicing that awareness, because dying feels a little bit like a dreaming state. The more conscious you are while you are alive of your dreaming process, and those moments, am I dreaming or not? So asking yourself in the dream, is this a dream or not? If you see any peculiar things not fitting the reality, you probably are in the dream. And if you are able to navigate, change some parts in your dream, that's also part of your awareness, because probably you will be able to do that when you are in the state of dying, of your transition to another life. Shri Yukteswar, master of Yogananda, was saying something very important about migrating to another life, and those people who raised enough awareness, consciousness in this lifetime can have a better choice where to go. And some people don't have that, and they do not have that choice. They are forced to incarnate or just going back. They don't have that choice. So it takes also the practice of those, I would say, 3 elements. Maybe I forgot about something, or maybe I just didn't put it yet, so please correct me if I'm wrong, or if you feel like I should mention something equally important. They're crucial for me. These aspects are crucial for me to have a successful death, if you may say so. There is another thing about I am really sorry for those digressions today. I had very intensive days recently, and I work with enormously great people, great team, but it was very, very intensive, and that makes me also digress a little bit more and tell you that anything great you achieve in life, it takes an effort. And some people say they are growing by just meditating, but it has to be related to effort in your body, mind, and emotions. So I always do recommend some sort of martial arts, dance, qigong. And I am also, that's just my recommendation, so of course you don't have to agree with me. To combine those things, and you are a specialist in something if you put amount of hours and conscious effort. You don't have to work hard, but you need to make intensive, inspiring effort in order to achieve a certain state of consciousness or mastery in chosen subject. Some people ask me already about those certificates, like, oh, I know, because I invite someone who can share, and I welcome all of you who want to share, who studied some subjects and know something and studied it for years, really dedicated yourself to certain topic, I think you are a specialist and you do not have to have certificate. I know what I'm saying is not very popular right now, because I think it's the amount of hours, intention, effort, focus you put in the subject that makes you better in it. Not exactly the certificate. I know that the system wants to make it clear and we need some laws to follow, but the system is not perfect, as we know right now. And there are many people who bought their degrees. I'm not going to say anything about that, but you know what I mean, right? And so yeah, if you spend so much time and effort and you are out there somewhere and you know better, share. We can all verify that and we can learn from each other. So I invite you to let me know about it. I hope that was inspiring for you, and I hope I exhaust that matter a little bit with the basics, although this is very, very wide subject and there are books like that about it, what to do, how to do. So it doesn't matter, go to light or not to light, but whatever you do, do it as much as consciously as you are capable of doing. Thank you very much. Looking forward to hearing from you again, and have a wonderful, inspiring day. Bye-bye.